Good morning, friends. It's Tuesday. Is anyone here? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm assuming you can hear me. Anyhow, happy Tuesday. Hope you have your coffee or your water or your orange juice or soda. Some people drink soda before noon. My dad used to take me to go get donuts when I was a kid, and he would get donuts and a Diet Pepsi. It's kind of like going to McDonald's and getting a Diet Coke, although they do have the best Diet Coke. Let's just be honest. It has something else in it. I don't know what they do to make it better, but it's better. Hi, Gina. Hi, Jill. Hi, Allison. I don't know what they do to that McDonald's Diet Coke, but it is better. So, unrelated to that, announcements. Night of Worship is happening on June 30th, 7 p.m. Come and we'll sing songs, and we'll pray, and we'll be together and celebrate the Lord's goodness and His faithfulness to us. So I hope you'll plan to be here. It's gonna be a great time. We will record it, but we will not have it live streamed. So incentive to come. And I think that's the only announcement. Youth garage sale, not happening, or not youth garage sale, but garage sale for children's ministry stuff. I guess they're technically youth, but not youth in the way we often describe it or use it. Children's ministry garage sale, hosted by Joel Shaw. So in place of the normal youth garage sale, we're going to do garage sale for children's ministry stuff, both for VBS and for the playground. So hope you'll contribute stuff, good stuff. Not couches unless they're really nice. No mattresses. And if you have questions about that, you can talk with Joel, or I believe the Benners. And we hope you'll help us out with that. It'll be a good time. And then that's it, I think, for the time being. Okay, so this week we're going to consider what's the benefit, or what is the purpose of reflecting on providence. Why would we want to reflect upon God's providence? What purpose? How does it help us? Now, not everything we do needs to have a purpose. Sometimes we just need to do things because we need to do them. We don't need to look for some deeper meaning in it, but I think there is good purpose in reflecting on God's providence. And the two that have come to my mind as I've been considering this, and why we would want to, is one, it's who God is, it's how God operates, and it is good to reflect upon who God is and His character and the way He works in the world. It is beneficial to us to know who God is and what He will do. It is the idea of providence is, I think we could say it's beautiful that God is at work in the world, causing all things to happen according to His purpose and His plan. And He does everything from make an arrow fly exactly where it intends to, where He intends it to, even though the archer didn't mean to hit that spot, the arrow goes exactly where God intends for it to go. So it happens with Ahab in 1 Kings. Yeah, you can find it. I don't know the reference off the top of my head, but it says a guy draws his bow and haphazardly shoots it and hits Ahab just in the spot where his armor is weak, even though he's disguised. The man doesn't know it's Ahab, and it hits him in the perfect spot to end his life. And the point is that God directed the arrow. It doesn't explicitly say that, but the implication is that it's what happened, because God told him he would die. And so it's how God works. God determines the lot. The lot is cast, and the Lord makes it fall as he does. The Lord is at work in all things and causing them to accomplish exactly what he intends to. And so, knowing that about God, it's good to reflect upon who God is and what God does in providence, and how that then from that impacts our life. The beauty of providence is it actually allows us to rest in faith and trust in God. And I think that's really the broader scope of why we would want to reflect on providence. The more we understand, the more we gather and comprehend and let it sink deep down into us, let it its roots grow into our heart. The more we allow that to happen, the more we can trust God in all circumstances. If we know that God is working through all of them, we can trust him in all of them. We don't need to fret when something bad comes our way, because one of the verses we looked at last week was that God has a good purpose in all of it. That if we know something that we would rather not pick, something that we would rather not have happen to us, happens to us, we know that God has a good purpose in it. Pastor Craig kind of reflected on this on Sunday, how we naturally would choose to not have bad things happen to us, and yet God works through them and builds us up and strengthens us in the midst of them. So as we consider providence, and we let it sink in, and we understand how God is at work in all these various areas of our lives, the various things that we encounter, it will help us have faith in moments of circumstances that we don't like, or even help us make decisions in moments of we don't know what to do. And they don't necessarily have to be a moment where something bad is happening to us. It could be a moment where something good is happening to us and we just don't know what to do. But knowing that God is working in providence, we can use it to determine what we should do. We should and can use the understanding of providence to know, to help it guide us in our decision making, or in our responses to things. Because let's be honest, there's going to be times where we encounter situations that we need to make a decision, and by understanding providence and how God works in the world, it will help us to make those decisions in those moments as they come at us. It also helps us to, like we said, trust in the midst of circumstances that we wouldn't want. How do you trust in the midst of illness or a car accident or job loss or any number of things? How do we trust? How do we work? How do we rest? Well, by knowing providence and by understanding providence, it allows us to trust God in those moments. So that's really the two main things that I wanted to hit on today for us in the purpose on reflecting in providence, and who God is, and it allows us to trust him more by knowing it. God, knowing that God is at work in all things, that then enables and flows into our trust of him in all things. So that's what I got for you this morning. Well, actually, I was there's a verse that I had intended to read, and then I forgot about it, and I remembered that I had it. So this is actually, I think this is a perfect picture of kind of why providence can be beneficial in the midst of a circumstance we don't like. So this is from 2 Samuel 15, verse 25 to 26, and it's where David is fleeing Jerusalem because Absalom has come in and is trying to overthrow him as king. Talk about family problems. Then the king said to Zadok, the priest, carry the ark of God back into the city. If I find favor in the eyes of the Lord, he will bring me back and let me see both it and his dwelling place. But if he says, I have no pleasure in you, behold, here I am. Let him do to me what seems good to him. And so David has settled in his heart, David has settled in his life that God is in control of even this terrible situation. And it allows David to make decisions and reflect in the moment to know what is best to do. And so David sends the ark back into the city. And he says, if God wants me to come back, God is going to bring me back. If God does not want to bring me back, he is not going to bring me back. And so it allows David to have trust of God because he's settled in his heart who God is already, and what God does. It allows him to move forward in this terrible situation. So I would just encourage you to, as we progress, as we progress through this series, to know that the reason we're studying this is because it's who God is, and it's going to enable you to endure situations that come your way and make decisions that come your way. So it'll help us live life in light of the greatness of our God. So I hope that's an encouragement to you. I will see you Sunday, and that's all. See ya.